Anyway, on to the interview. We're all using it. We're all abusing it. Social media has gotten a big boost from events of this past week. The Boston Marathon bombing is said to be the first major manhunt helped and hindered by social media. And this week, a bogus tweet from the news agency, the Associated Press, about the White House being blown up wiped out $136.5 billion from the S&P 500 stock market in 3 minutes. Is social media good or bad? Well, I have with me on Skype the university's social media manager, Shai Vure. Shai, welcome to the BROR.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on the show.
Yeah, so this week has been crazy. A manhunt and the stock market crash, all managed through Twitter.
I know. I mean, I've been reading up about some of this, and it seems that a lot of, false information was shared. And I think one of the strangest things about it was that the traditional sort of news outlets were picking up on this as well and actually broadcasting rumor and speculation that was being seen on Twitter, and that was going out through the 24-hour news channels. So I think people are saying this is the first sort of major disaster on American soil that has been in the age of the ubiquitous internet coverage.
Yeah, because before in 2001 and 9/11. Internet was big in America, but not the rest of the world. So, and we didn't really have mobile phones back then. I remember, I have a big story about that, but that's later. So is this what social media is for? Is this what you think it's for?
I think it's for whatever people want to make it about. It's this fantastically liberating tool that just gives people the opportunity to say what they think and communicate with who they want to. And, it can be used for good and it can be used for ill. I think really the benefits of it far outweigh the odd kind of negative story that comes through the media, such as this one. But I think the ability for people to connect and to share and to feel part of a community. I mean, for example, I'm conducting this interview with you now, and I'm sat at the Chester campus. So that's just one example of being socially connected.
And of course, the person we're interviewing next, we met through the University of Chester's Twitter feed, which you manage.
That's right.
So I mentioned that you manage the Twitter feed and the Facebook accounts for the university. What's the most amazing thing you've experienced with the university's social media?
Well, one that springs to mind recently is two things actually. Okay, so a couple of months ago, this whole Harlem Shake phenomenon that we all saw and we all thought was a bit silly and a bit funny. I mean, the students here were pretty ahead of the curve compared to some of the major brands, and I think within 2 or 3 days of the first Harlem Shake video being posted, we saw some students in a house on Bouverie Street recreating it, and that was the first I'd heard about it. So I thought that was quite telling of the sort of age that we live in. I think the second thing that was quite interesting, which just sort of happened yesterday, was quite. It was a bit strange because we've certainly from the Chester campus, we're having quite a few. New bits of accommodation being built for next year. We plan messages going out through social media and it gets a bit of a buzz and whatever. I just happened to post a message yesterday about the University of Chester logo being rated within the top 50 in the world, and that's got twice as many clicks as the story about the accommodation, which I just thought was really strange. So you can't really plan these things and what's going to be popular and what's going to be shared. It's just how it takes the mood really.
Yeah, that's great. So one question: are you ever disconnected?
I am, yeah, I do. I try to, when I'm at home sort of with my children, I try not to use sort of Facebook at the table or check the university tweets on an evening. I sometimes, you can't help it, especially if you've posted something, you just want to see what the reaction's going to be. But I try and keep family time separate from, I spend more time at work than I do with my family during the day anyway, so I try and keep that separate.
That's great. So one last question. You're probably our most avid listener to the BROR. What are you and the rest of the marketing department going to do to get our listenership up?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think am I able to speak about the project that we're working on together?
Yes.
The Fabulous Baker Brothers.
Yes, Fabulous Baker Brothers.
That's something that I'm definitely going to try and help you guys with, because I think that sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Hopefully, I've got some of my colleagues listening in the offices as well, because I mentioned it to a few of them as well.
Great.
And I think it's a great show. I mean, I found out about this, funnily enough, through social media. You tweeted about it. I picked it up in our feeds that we searched for the university, and that's how I heard about the BROR radio program.
So there's potential to use social media at the university to get our listenership to be like the biggest in the world.
Absolutely.
Shai, thanks for joining us. We'll have you back on before the end of the year to talk about something. I'm sure we can come up with something. And if you want to be disconnected for a while, the Stress Busting Quiet Day is in Chapel on Sunday afternoon. You are very welcome to join us for all or part of the afternoon, which will use different activities intended to de-stress and help you survive the next few weeks so you can perform at your best. So thank you very much, Shai.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.